Perhaps I should just make note that the Costa Rica operation shut down back in '93. You might recall the wee problem we experienced, only due, I might say, to sabotage. Our Hollywood Park is better than ever and incorporates safety features that will ensure a Costa Rica incident could never happen again.
Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Now for today's video, I wanted to cover a topic from the first movie that's been heavily requested. When it comes to the failure of Jurassic Park, many people seem to blame Dennis Nedry's plan to smuggle out InGen's embryos. After all, had it not been for his success in cutting off the power, none of the dinosaurs would have broken free and no one would have been killed on the island. While I don't think stopping Nedry would have prevented Jurassic Park's inevitable shutdown, I will say that it definitely sped things up. So naturally, a lot of people have wondered what would have happened to Jurassic Park if all of this never went down. What if Jurassic Park never failed? That's been something on the fans' minds for over 20 years now. And believe it or not, there are actual canon answers to that question. To find out what John Hammond was planning after the endorsement team signed off on the park, you needn't look any further than the first movie itself. During the lunchroom scene in Jurassic Park, we can see that Hammond has a ton of things planned for the Isla Nublar resort once the park is successfully opened. And this is also the scene where we see that he actually had plans for building new Jurassic Parks off-island. If you pay attention carefully at key moments in this part of the movie, you'll see that the billionaire has decided to build a relatively cryptic site called Jurassic Park Europe sometime soon in the future. This is something that was present in both the novel and 2011 game story as well. But we don't know the exact canon location of Jurassic Park Europe in the film universe. The aforementioned other stories have always placed its location in the Azores Islands, with InGen securing a pretty nice deal with the Portuguese government and getting a Jurassic Park out there for the masses ASAP. It's this little bit of information that lets us know that if Nedry had never shut off the power, then Jurassic Parks would have opened up all around the world. Other locations like Jurassic Park Japan were being planned in Michael Crichton's novel ahead of the Biosyn sabotage. And since we can see this idea for expansion represented on screen in the original film in the franchise, I think the future of JP would have looked very different had Dennis not picked the forbidden fruit, so to speak. What this would mean for the dinosaurs is anybody's guess, but I wouldn't put it past the company to exhibit animals that were unique and different compared to all of the other resorts. For example, if you want to see something like the Stegosaurus, you can't just go to Jurassic Park Isla Nublar on your vacation. You're going to have to go all the way to Jurassic Park Europe in order to see that exclusive dino. And even though this was something that was added in retroactively due to the Lost Worlds mainland plot, it totally makes sense for Hammond to build additional locations once we learn that he actually tried to start the business up with Jurassic Park San Diego in California. Now, if Jurassic Park had never really failed on the first island, and if it had been allowed to expand into wider territories, I have no doubt in my mind that, eventually, dinosaurs would have broken out and chaos would have ensued. We have to remember that it wasn't just Nedry that had led to the failure of the first theme park. Sickly animals that weren't being taken care of properly, hazardous raptor packs that needed to be quarantined, faulty computer equipment filled with bugs, and an over-reliance on automation were all things that hurt the park badly. Nedry was just the straw that broke the camel's back. I've always seen the failure of John Hammond's initial dream as something of a death by 1,000 cuts, and not necessarily something that we can pin squarely on Nedry's shoulders. Although, like I said earlier, he definitely helped speed things up by releasing things like the T-Rex. Now, I'm curious to learn how many of you were aware of InGen's plans to expand Jurassic Park off-island, and how many of you would have liked to have seen that in the movie universe. I personally think we are fine with both failed parks on Nublar, but it is really interesting to know that Hammond had a grander vision than what most people have been led to believe. Now, whatever your own thoughts and opinions happen to be, I'd love to hear them in the comments down below. Now, before I go, I'd like to thank all of my game wardens, as well as all of my InGen executives. I'd also like to thank all of my park workers and InGen hunters as well. It really means the world to me that all of you continue to watch my videos, and I never want any of you to forget that. Now, I'd like to thank all of you for watching today's video, and hope you all enjoyed the content. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like, and hope that you'll consider subscribing if you're interested in hearing from me again. See you all in the next video, guys, and as always, take it easy.